Hello, everyone, and welcome to another heart to heart talk at the beginning of another week. And I hope that you're having a good day thus far. Maybe some of you have just started the day, and maybe some of you are getting this devotional later on in the day. But I hope and pray that you'll have a good day and a good week. Thanks for stopping by and joining me once again for this little message from my heart to your heart. And I hope it is a blessing, and I hope it challenges you as well. Well, despite what our culture tells us, worldly success is only temporary, and it will never bring about complete satisfaction. Oh, the world tells you that's the way to go. You just want more money, you want more success, more popularity, more fame, all these things, but it's all temporary. And the number of people who have come to ruin after experiencing the world's idea of fame and fortune is astonishing. Here's just a few. Multi-millionaire George Vanderbilt. You're familiar with the Vanderbilt name, I'm sure. He killed himself by jumping from a hotel window. Lester Hunt, who was a two-time governor in Wyoming and was about to be a U.S. Senator years ago, ended his own life. And of course, I think most of us are familiar with the sad story of Marilyn Monroe, who took her life, and Ernest Hemingway and athlete Tony Lazzeri. They represent a group of popular people who were dissatisfied and took their own lives. It's sad. It really is sad. Solomon warned those who strive for success without God. It's not wrong to be successful. Please don't misunderstand me. But when we go after that and that becomes our God, it will not satisfy. It's only God who satisfies the inner longings and inner cravings of our heart. In Proverbs 28, Solomon wrote, "The hopes of the wicked come to nothing." And according to biblical accounts, God didn't generally use successful and popular people to accomplish his work. Instead, he used everyday people like Nehemiah, like Rahab, like Mary, like Jonah, like Joshua, and the list goes on and on. I call them saints in aprons and overalls. What's wonderful is that God doesn't require us to be big shots to make an impact for him. The fact is, he uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things for his kingdom, even today. And this morning, or yesterday morning, in our message at First Assembly, I was sharing the fifth in a series of 7 messages called The 7 Wonders of the Spiritual World. And yesterday's message was about the fact that God chooses to use us. As frail as we are, little specks on this planet Earth, made up of mostly 75-80% water and some chemicals, and God breathed life into all of that, and he chooses to use us. And this is what the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. He said, "But God has chosen the foolish things to put to shame the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world, and the things which are despised God has chosen, and the things which are not, to bring to nothing the things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. What a great, great passage of Scripture that is. That makes us understand that for whatever reason God has, he chooses to use us to continue his message. And it is only as we give ourselves to God and we surrender to him that he can use us. Yesterday morning in church, we sang at the altar time, "I surrender all." It brought back many memories. As I reflected on that, we sang that song and thought of when I was a teenager and went to youth rallies and youth camps and different services, and we would sing that song. And I'm so glad that at one point I really did surrender all to Jesus. And he has called me into the ministry, and I've served him now. This year marks 50 years of ordained ministry with the Assemblies of God. And I may not have the fame and fortune of worldly people, but I'm thankful for the peace that God has put in my heart and for the blessings that I have as a result of serving him and my wife and family and all of the blessings that go along with it. Some really good people that I've met and been able to minister to, and them minister to me over the years. It truly, truly is a blessing. And I'm thankful that because I surrendered to him, he was able to use me. Just a little kid off of the streets of Philadelphia. But God picked me up and chose me. And when I gave my heart to him and I gave my life to him and dedicated it all to him, one of the verses of Scripture that became very real to me and really became instrumental in accepting the call into ministry was 1 John 2:17. The world is going to pass away and all the desires thereof, but he that does the will of God is going to abide forever. And so God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. That's not to say he can't use extraordinary people to do some extraordinary things, but for the most part, God just uses simple, ordinary, plain people. And it's a matter of us just surrendering to him. And the greatest success you will ever achieve will come one day when you meet the Lord in heaven and hear him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That will be worth all of the sacrifices, all of the things that we have had to go through in this life. If we get to heaven and hear him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Well, I hope and pray that today will be a great day and that you will allow the Lord to use you this day, and that as you give yourself to him and surrender to him, he will use you and you will be blessed. Well, have a great day, and Lord willing, we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.